What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Casual Big Ten Podcast. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2023. My name is Kent Peterson. I'm the host of this show. And on today's show, we're joined by B1G Wilson. The screen is flashing on his face as we speak. We're in the middle of the first half of the Michigan game. We're here to talk Big Ten hoops. Wilson, how you doing, brother? It's been a while.
Doing all right, man. Had a good holidays, doing terrible on our betting picks. So, some things change in the new year, some things stay the same.
Some things stay the same. That's funny that you bring that up. That was the first thing that I wanted to talk about. It's Bet Big. If you don't know at this point, at Casual Big Ten on Twitter, everybody can be involved in this one. You can vote on the Twitter polls each and every day for every Big Ten matchup. Wilson, you are in fourth place. What is going on, brother?
I had a good thing going for a while where I was staying 500, steady Betty, but just fell off a cliff recently. I can't find the groove. Even before the games tonight, I made a late last minute switch and I got it wrong. I'm an idiot.
Everybody tonight ended up taking, when it was all said and done, had Michigan State and the over. The under hit by 0.5 points, and the Michigan State Spartans could not cover. They won by 10. We needed them to win by 12 for that cover to hit, which they were up by 12 there for just a moment, and then Minnesota knocked down some free throws. How do you feel about that decision to switch at the last moment? You could have been the only one that got a win. The polls got that wrong, too. Everybody's 0-2 for the evening right now.
And I would have been right back in my 500. Would have been right back in the groove. But I couldn't believe Minnesota didn't foul after that missed free throw at the end.
Well, they were down by 10, though.
I know, but there was still like 20-plus seconds left. I would have done one more. Screw it.
Well, yeah, you wanted them to do one more.
I would have done it as a player. Frustration.
Yeah. I thought Minnesota actually played good. We're going to talk about that game first. So Michigan State at home tonight. They end up getting the win. Like I said, the 10-point win. Final score was 76-66. I thought Minnesota played pretty good for on the road. They're missing Elijah Hawkins, their point guard, the Big Ten's leading assist man. How do you feel from, you've let it be known already. You're a Michigan State fan. How do you feel from a State fan's perspective, how Minnesota's played throughout the year and especially this evening?
It was a weird game, first off. It was just the whole time. Like, Minnesota either turned it over or hit a jumper. I don't remember what they finished with, but last I saw they had like 17 turnovers.
Yeah.
They would have won this game outright if their starting point guard played. I mean, they would have cut those in half. Probably would have had additional 10 points. So it's kind of concerning. I'm not kind of worried about going into Maryland now. Life on the road's tough, but from a Spartan perspective, not feeling great.
Yeah. They ended up finishing with 19 turnovers, which is kind of insane because if you look at the other side of the basketball, Michigan State only had 4, really took care of the ball tonight. I think that was really the difference in this game. I know it looks like if you just looked at the box score or the score in general, it looks like Michigan State had control of this game, but that's really not how it was. There was 3 minutes left. I think Michigan State was up 4 at that point, and Minnesota was right there in this game, just could not get the job done at home. As far as the Spartans go, we're going to play a game at the end called Tournament Team or Not, so I don't want you to talk about the tournament team quite yet. But going into 2 road games in a row, you mentioned they have Minnesota, and then I think they go to Wisconsin after that. Are you thinking they're going to be able to pick up a road win right there? It would be massive for the Spartans. How do you think those next 2 games go?
So they go at Maryland and at Wisconsin?
I believe so. Yes, that is true. I just double-checked. That is true.
I think they squeak out one versus Maryland. I think they split it 1-1. I can't believe Wisconsin lost to Penn State, I believe, on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They've played the best out in the Big Ten so far, but I'm not feeling great about going into Cole, but Maryland's not that great. So I think we split. Keep us steady on the bubble.
On
Sorry,
the bubble. Do you got the Michigan game on right now? We're going to do updates after every game we talk about. What's the score?
I do. It's 22-19 Illinois. 9 minutes left in the first half. That's
All
what's
right, here we
flash.
go. All right. Next game I want to talk about real quick. We're just going to kind of zoom through these games. I don't want this podcast to be super long, but it is the Northwestern Wildcats. They played at home last night against that very same Maryland team that we were just talking about. What an I thought the last night's games were the most entertaining in the entire conference throughout for the whole year, really. You had the Northwestern Minnesota game, and then, of course, right before that, you had Nebraska and Rutgers that went to overtime. But first, Northwestern gets the job done at home. Jameer Young, balling, just absolutely balling. 36 points in this game. You have to be a little bit nervous about him as a Michigan State fan, like I said, going into that next game, but could not pick up the win. Northwestern gets the win. What were your thoughts on this game last night? Were you able to watch this one?
Not all of it. I watched a little bit of it. I know it was a good matchup between Boo and Jameer. So, honestly, again, from a Michigan State perspective, I'm more worried about Reese. I know he hasn't played that
Really?
well. He hasn't played that well, but that's a weakness for Michigan State. I think one of our 1,000 guards could contain Maryland's backcourt, but front court's a little bit of a weakness.
Yeah, no doubt. If you had to start a team tomorrow, a college basketball team in the Big Ten, are you picking Boo Buie or are you picking Jameer Young?
Probably Boo Booey.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
I'm
The
taking because
man's
I'm taking Jameer Young for sure. Why are you taking Boo?
he just seems like a gamer. I don't know.
Hmm.
Again, he's beaten Michigan State every time he's played, it seems like.
Yeah,
The dude is a assassin when it comes down to the game time.
dude, he hit like a 20-foot floater last night. Were you on? Were you locked on when that happened? Like he was right inside the 3-point line and he like threw up a floater and it somehow went in. I don't know how he does it with those floaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. All right, sorry, what were you gonna say?
He's a good guard.
He's a very good guard. Nebraska and Rutgers, also a couple teams that have some good guards. Keisei Tominaga comes to mind when you think about Nebraska. Nebraska goes to Rutgers. They force overtime. I thought Nebraska played, once again, really good on the road, but they weren't able to get the win. It was Rutgers 87, Nebraska 82. Rutgers, really tough team to figure out. It feels like they're a bottom-level team, but Nebraska just cannot find a win on the road. What were your thoughts on this game? Bryce Williams had 22 points.
So again, I watched bits and pieces of it until the last 2 minutes and then overtime.
Yeah.
I kept my eye on the score, so it looked like Nebraska kept a double-digit lead. Then Rutgers would come back and cut into it, but it's a weird game. I couldn't believe the last 2 minutes. Neither team wanted to win.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy from Nebraska, but he's holy shit, man. Come on. Just let the ball go. Set up another play for the win. You would have won me another point in our betting, too. But I like this Nebraska team. I think they go to the tournament and may actually get a win in it. Rutgers, it's a tough year. They're offensively challenged. Good news for them, though. They got like a top 5 recruiting class coming in.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, they got like the number 1 and number 3 kid coming in.
Oh, Rutgers. I thought you were talking about Nebraska. Yeah, I did know about Rutgers. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like Ron Harper's cousin or brother or something.
I think it's his son.
Ron Harper Jr.'s son?
No, Ron Harper's son.
No, Ron Harper Jr. He played at Rutgers a couple years ago with Geo Baker.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like brothers or something.
They might be. I don't know, but I don't know if they're brothers or cousins or what, but they're related. That's all I know.
Okay.
But he's
I
like
thought
a
for
top
sure they were
player.
brothers. That's my bad if they're
You
not.
might be right. You might be right. You might be right. I have no idea. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
like Nebraska. Rutgers, they're still a tough team. They play hard. Good defense, but just
Yeah,
offensively
I thought for Rutgers, I thought Mag had like the biggest game. He kept on coming up with loose balls. And like you said, it was a really weird game. They were down by 10 in the first half, and then they cut it at halftime. And it looked like they were just going to take control of the game. They did the exact same thing in the second half. Went down by 11, I believe, maybe even 12 in the second half, and then came back, once again at home and then forced overtime, and we're able to take control in overtime. But yeah, Mag had a good game. Andre Hyatt had 17 points. So great win for Rutgers. I thought that was a good win. Can we get a Michigan-Illinois update as we're live on the show here?
That's 27-21 Illinois at the 7:30 mark.
Illinois taking over.
I will say also that Nebraska Rutgers game had one of the better dunks of the year so far. Cliff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Two-handed, off 2 feet. Yeah, that was pretty good. Anytime someone like bends their legs while they're dunking, like it makes it look even better for some reason.
I agree with that.
I think so. All right, the last game I want to ask you about. Once again, I didn't even ask you before we started recording if you watched any of these games, but it was Wisconsin going to Penn State. Penn State beats Wisconsin. Wisconsin's first Big Ten loss of the season, 87-83. Kanye Clary with 27 points, and then Baldwin Jr. also had 20. I really enjoyed actually. More than the game, even, I liked watching the post-game interviews with those two guys. They just, like, seemed like they were in heaven after the court storm. Let me ask you about that first. Do you storm the court in a non-rivalry game?
No, and you don't do it, I feel like, against a team that's ranked in the double digits. I don't think so, especially when you're in the same conference. I mean, it felt like an ironic court rush to me because I feel like the night before is when Matt Painter threw a big fuss about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I want to take it. It makes me feel better about Penn State and the Big Ten as a whole.
Yeah.
Because you don't rush the court in that situation, seriously.
I like a good court storm no matter like who it is. I don't really care. Like you could be like a non-ranked team, and I'll take a court storm. I just love it, man. I love it for the fans. They get to get on the court, celebrate with the players. It's awesome.
I like it when it's natural, like, a last-minute shot or something that, or a big close comeback or something like that. Not when you're, like, up double digits and just counting down the seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of takes the sting out of it. I don't know.
I was really surprised that Wisconsin dropped this, even if it was on the road. The way that they've been playing A.J. Storr, obviously, Kral and Wall and, Max Klieschmidt. I don't know how to say – I cannot say his last name for some reason. Is it Klieschmidt?
I think
I said that right. He's been playing pretty good lately, and then obviously Chucky Hepburn he's touch and go. He had 0 points in this game. That's probably one of the reasons that they lost this game. I'm not jumping off the Wisconsin bandwagon, though. I said on Monday that I was firmly on their bandwagon. I think that they could be a 1 or a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and definitely double bye Big Ten tournament and a potential to win the Big Ten outright this year. Are you with me on any of that?
I think they'll probably be like a 3 seed. I think they'll slip up a little bit. Honestly, I'm already talking to myself into Michigan State beating them next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like this Wisconsin team a lot more than I thought I would, especially. Storr's a hell of a player. I would have thought Asian. I think I'm probably butchering that name.
No,
he was really good last year. He couldn't play defense, but he could shoot the hell out of the ball. But he's not really playing this year.
Yeah.
Like, do you have the stats up from the game last night?
Yeah, I don't have his minutes though. He had 3 points and an assist and a rebound, but I don't have his minutes up right now.
I specifically remember a Wisconsin at Michigan game like last year where he went off for like 20-something points. And I was impressed. I thought he was going to be a big-time player this year, and just hasn't happened. But they're still top of the Big Ten, so
yeah, I mean,
you
can't
Gard,
fault,
I guess.
Greg Gard, I guess he knows what he's doing with his players. I mean, I'm surprised, too, that he's not getting more burn. I feel like if he got more minutes, it would give him some confidence to be that guy that we think that he can be. But, he's not. So
it's got to be the defensive side. It has to be.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, because he can score it. We all know he can score it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go quickly on this because, like I said, I didn't want this to be too long. I wanted to play a quick game with you. This is tournament or no tournament. I think that there's some give-ins at this point, even in the Big Ten. Wisconsin and Purdue are definitely going to make the tournament. But then it gets kind of interesting even just after those two. So I'm just going to go through this one by one, and I'm going to ask you if you think they're going to make the tournament, yes or no, and then we'll move on to the next team. Northwestern, tournament or no tournament?
Yes.
All right, 4-2 in the conference, 13-4 overall. Illinois, my next team, they're playing right now at Michigan tournament. They're definitely a tournament team, right?
Yes. I
Okay.
don't think. I think if Shannon doesn't come back, they'll probably be like a 7-8.
Yeah.
So not a high seed, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like those two were kind of givens too, but there is a potential that they could go on a slide and like not make the tournament. So felt like it was
yeah.
worth asking. Here's where it gets really interesting though. Indiana, 12
No,
and 6, 4-3 in the conference.
no.
All right.
There's not a good team.
Mm-mm. I'm with you on that. They got a brutal schedule coming up too. Iowa, 3-3 in the conference, 11-6 overall. Long
Yes,
pause.
yes.
Iowa
As a
making
10
the
seed,
tournament.
as
All
a
right.
10 seed, as a
All
10
right.
seed.
10 seed. Nebraska.
Yes.
I agree with that one. The team that you just watched and your team just beat Minnesota.
No.
Okay.
Good year for him though, but no.
Yeah. And then your Michigan State Spartans, 3-4 in the conference, 11-7 overall.
Yes.
Okay. And then you have Maryland, 3-4 in the conference, also 11-7 overall.
No.
Okay. And then do any of these bottom four teams make it? Penn State, Ohio State, Rutgers, or Michigan? Who has the best shot?
I think Ohio State does. I think they have the best non-conference
Yeah,
resume. I think that's why Maryland's not going to get in. I think they lost to a pretty bad team in the non-conference.
they did. They
I
lost
mean,
to
granted,
UAB.
yeah. I mean, Michigan State lost to James Madison, but James Madison's probably at least going to win their conference.
True,
So,
true, true.
but I
All right.
think I think you got Wisconsin, Purdue. Are they going to be the only ones that are higher than like a 5 seed?
All right. So you have Wisconsin. I'm going to count these out. Wisconsin, Purdue, that's 2. Northwestern Illinois, that's 4. Iowa is 5. You said Nebraska's in, right?
Yeah.
That's 6. And then you have Michigan State. That's 7. And
And
then
Ohio
maybe
State.
Ohio State. That would be 8. That seems
Yeah.
about right, though.
On a normal year,
That seems about. I feel like, I mean, but the problem is, like, I look around other conferences and I'm like, are they going to have that many teams either, though? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the Big Ten isn't like as good as they usually are, but like it kind of depends on what the other conferences do, right?
yeah. I've seen anywhere with projections between anywhere from 6 to 8. So
Yeah,
one on the high side, but I think a couple of those squeak in. Maybe one or two of them. Probably not two, but maybe one of them is like a first 4 game.
yeah. All right, upcoming games. I want to talk about this just real quick, and then we'll let you go. I appreciate you coming on tonight. We have Indiana and Wisconsin tomorrow. Indiana at Wisconsin. Any thoughts on that game?
Wisconsin by double digits.
Yeah, I
I just
agree.
Indiana, man. I don't. I thought they'd be better.
All right, I'm going to read the Saturday games to you. You have to pick one that you would watch out of these 3. Penn State at Ohio State, Purdue at Iowa, or Northwestern at Nebraska.
I'd watch both, either of the last two. To be honest with you, I think the best game will be the Nebraska Northwestern.
I
But I
agree.
think Iowa Purdue will be fun. It'll be high scoring.
Yeah. All right, and then on Sunday, like I said, upcoming this weekend, you have Michigan State at Maryland, and then Rutgers at Illinois. Obviously, I know you're cheering for Michigan State at Maryland on Sunday, but do you think Rutgers could go steal one from Illinois on Sunday afternoon?
I do not.
No,
Not enough offense.
I
Life
agree.
on the Big Ten road. And also, I will be at the Michigan State at Maryland game this Sunday.
Boots
So I
on the
might,
ground.
yeah, might be able to send you some reports on Sunday.
I would appreciate just
Some
at least a
inside scoop.
photo so that I can tweet out that we have boots on the ground.
Yeah,
That would be much appreciated.
yeah. I'll be going with my friend Brad.
Yeah, I wanted to get him on the pod again tonight too, but he was I guess he's busy running a business or something.
Something important, I guess.
Did you look into does Maryland sell alcohol at the stadium?
I actually did not look at that.
That's a big factor.
I would assume so.
Why? Based on what?
Just being an East Coast elite pricks.
Oh, dude, I wanted to ask you about this because I talked about this on a different podcast the other day. Do you remember at the Big Ten tournament last year when we sat Thursday night right behind the benches with Minnesota and Maryland, and we got a good look at Ben Johnson and Kevin Willard? I'm this is we haven't talked about this beforehand. What were your thoughts about Kevin Willard?
I
Do you
don't remember
remember or
anything.
no?
I remember the seats and sitting there. I don't remember anything specific about him.
Dude, I remember he was an asshole.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
Not specifically, no.
He was
It
like
was
yelling at
probably
everyone at the scorers table like the whole night, and then like obviously the referees, but like even his players and his staff and stuff. I was like, this guy's just a jerk. I just don't like him.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that now on Sunday though. See if he's changed his ways.
Meanwhile, Ben Johnson was like a teddy bear. He like seemed like the nicest guy of all time.
Yeah, I
Very
think.
contrasting coaching styles, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did check. They do sell alcohol.
Oh, you just
So
checked?
yeah, the only
Nice.
problem is though is going to be we're traveling back after the game, so
Oh, driving?
to the airport.
Well, that's fine. You can get it.
Yeah,
Well, you'd be Ubering.
a rental.
Oh,
It's
that's
like a
fine.
40-minute drive from the airport.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't condone drinking and driving, so stay sober, please.
I'll have a beer or two. That's still under the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good
No
talking.
problem. We will be back on Monday with another Big Ten Hoops update. Once again, it's B1G Wilson on Twitter. Go follow him and at Casual Big Ten. We will see you guys on Monday. We will see y'all in the future.